What if I told you about a federal agency with 600,000 workers, many of them veterans and people of color, and the workers in that agency were fighting every day to make sure that Americans have access to supplies, to medicine, and even to ballots? And then what if I told you that in a time of crisis, when those workers were more essential than ever, the President of the United States was holding their funding hostage because he was playing political games? Okay, if you've been paying attention at all over the last 4 years, you can probably believe all of that. But just because that type of nonsense is the norm coming out of Donald Trump's White House doesn't mean that we should be any less outraged. I am, of course, talking about the United States Postal Service, an organization and employees that are indispensable at any time, and even more so now. Their workers are putting themselves at risk, putting their families at risk, and thousands of United States postal workers have fallen ill to COVID-19. They need our gratitude, and instead, this president is holding up a $10 billion line of credit that was approved in the last stimulus package just because he wants to send political messages. He's playing political games, and he's doing it at the expense of working families and some of the most vulnerable among us. Donald Trump, release the funds that the United States Postal Service needs. Put workers first over your own political agenda. And then, as we chart a path forward from this crisis, let's work to make sure that the Postal Service has the reforms it needs to ensure its long-term viability. To our postal workers, thank you. You have our gratitude. As your next Congresswoman, I look forward to being your partner and your champion and fighting to make sure that you are recognized as the essential workers that we know you are.